The hardest part is making the decision that you're actually going to do it. I remember the day that I walked in and my stomach was not there. But then when I actually made the decision, it was a matter of 4 days.
When I got into digital marketing, I was just like, dude, how can these guys make like $45,000 in an hour off of like a live webinar? Like, I don't get it. What's so special about them? And then I started doing research and I'm like, there's nothing special. There's nothing special. It's just they have the information that I don't.
The one discipline that I always move off of is as soon as you make the decision to do something, immediately do it. The faster you move on something, the faster you're able to complete it, and then you're able to go on to the next thing even faster.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Level Up Podcast with Paul Alex. I'm here with a special guest, Chris Dietz. Chris is one of the leading sales experts in the industry right now, and he has generated over $30 million in the past 3 years. Chris, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me.
So Chris, let's jump into it, dude. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
So it all started back in a small town, Erie, Pennsylvania. Beautiful hometown. I love that place to death. And when I was 22 years old, I was dead broke, almost making no money, $1,200 a month, if that. And I had a great opportunity. I was in sales for 2 years, selling vehicles. And then I had a great opportunity to move down here to Miami for my latest opportunity, which changed my life forever. And since transitioning out of that, starting into my own business, now I'm just looking to expand as fast as humanly possible.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you came down to Miami for an opportunity with a big corporation, killed it in sales in that corporation, and now you decided to go the full-time entrepreneur route.
Yes.
Okay. And then what is it exactly that you're building right now?
So what I'm building is Find Me Staffing Solutions, where I help companies get proven appointment setters and closers to increase their sales inside their business.
I love that. I love that. And what made you choose this industry?
2 reasons. I'm great with people and I know sales. That's why.
I love that.
I don't know marketing. I don't know computers. I don't know the logistics. All I know is people and sales. And if I know those 2 things, recruiting is the best space.
Yeah.
Because there's 8 billion people on this earth. You'll never run out of people.
No, absolutely, dude. I mean, like me being a serial entrepreneur myself, I was telling you a little bit about my background. Dude, it's tough finding legit sales guys. And, I think a company like Recruiting is awesome. So let me ask you, when you look for anyone in sales, what are the top 3 qualities that you would find in a salesperson?
Great question. The top 3 traits I specifically look for is, first thing when they answer the phone, how's their tone? Are they sharp? Are they actually there? Do they want to talk to you? Second thing is their dress. If they got messy hair, you got a crazy beard going on, or their face looks all messed up, definitely not good. And then number 3 is their hygiene. Like if they're not well dressed, if they're not willing to be like a professional, then they're just not going to last. It could be a short-term deal with that rep going into a company, but they will not last long term, because when you want to produce the company and get more revenue inside the business, a person that's all over the place won't be able to handle it.
Dude, I love that. Very direct. You're like, hey, dude, it's mainly on your appearance.
Yeah, it is.
You're probably going to get a lot of people like, whoa. Like, he can't say that. No, dude, I totally resonate with you. And the reason why, back when I was in the police force for the city of Oakland, dude, I used to have to do like the panel interviews where, people that wanted to be the police, they would come, they interview. And like when they first started allowing, applicants to grow their beard, I was like, what the hell? Like, why would you come to get a police job like and not like shaved and a nice haircut? Dude, you got people with long hair and all this stuff. And I get it, dude. I had all that, but I was undercover at the time. Like I wasn't trying to apply to be the police, right? So
Right.
It's the same thing in sales, dude. Like I always tell people, especially being a CEO of a couple companies now, but I always tell my sales guys like, hey, dude, you got to be clean cut. You're representing the company. You think somebody's going to buy like a 10, 15, 35, even a 90K package from you looking like that? It's like, come on, have some pride, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you want to dress to the amount that you're selling.
Yeah.
That's what I preach, and that's why I go everywhere in this suit and tie, or I'm dressed up every single day. Even though I work from my home office, right? I'm building right now. Dude, I'm still dressed up every single day regardless.
I love that,
even though if I'm not even on the phone with anybody or not doing any Zoom calls, I want to be a pro.
Yeah.
Because like you never know.
Yeah.
I could have a client call me, one of my biggest clients, call me, FaceTime me, and if I'm in a t-shirt, but on the Zoom call, I'm in a suit and tie,
Yeah.
what are they going to think?
Night and
You
day,
know?
dude.
Yeah,
Night
exactly.
and day.
Exactly.
So let me ask
you
you.
got to be it, you know?
No, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, Chris. When you got into sales, did you get in directly into sales? Did you go to college, or was it out of high school? What would you say?
So I graduated high school with like a 2.4 GPA. Right as soon as I graduated high school, got in some trouble, and then I had 7 jobs in 1 year.
Oh, wow.
And in that year, I was reading books on sales, personal development. Like I was just like eating books.
Yeah.
By the way, I've never read a single book in school ever. So this was like my first book I ever completed was a book I did after high school. Wow. And so, yeah. So in that year, I was studying sales and studying like marketing and personal relationships and people. And I was unemployed at the time. And I went out to breakfast with my buddies, who was also unemployed as well. And we were at this diner, and he looks across the street and he goes, "Hey, I think that place is hiring, and it's a brand new car lot. It's got a trailer, right?" And I was like, "Screw it, why not?" So I walked in, applied, and I just kept following up until I got the job. And I ended up staying there for 2 years, and it was the single most important thing that I've ever done in my life. Because I got a chance that not many people have, you know, is getting to a great sales role like that with no experience at all.
And how old were you then?
I was 19.
You were 19.
Yeah, I was 19, yeah.
19-year-old was working 7 jobs. Then one of your buddies was like, "Hey, dude, there's a car dealership. Go apply." You applied, got the job. And then from there, did you become like number 1 immediately, or like how did that work out?
It was off and on, because at the same time I didn't have the discipline to actually sustain results long term. So it was go up 1 month, down 1 month, up 1 month, etc. And what I found is that I just needed a bigger challenge. So I always had these big goals and dreams of what I'm doing right now, but it was just in the environment that I was in. So I did very, very well. I was not a top producer there, but that was the single thing that changed everything for me.
So when you say you didn't have the discipline, would you say with new salespeople when they first start getting into sales, is that one of the characteristics that like every salesperson needs?
Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough in sales, you know, because you're not doing any sort of logistics. You're not doing very mechanical things. You're dealing with people, right? And so you don't really need an education to learn how to sell.
Yeah.
You're just talking to people and getting them to say yes, right? Wow. So, you know, if you're selling something and you're just like taking it not as serious as you should be, it's very easy to go off and drift off of an $8,000 commission check or a $10,000 commission check by having no debt from college.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like the number one guy. You're the guy in your group. You know what I mean? You're making all the money, right?
Yeah.
And then you want to flash it because that's what society teaches you, to flash what you have, right?
Yeah.
And so letting that in your environment, it could destroy you just like that.
No,
and so that's really what happened. Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. So how long were you working at the car dealership, and then where did you move from the car dealership to what was the next step in your journey?
So I went from the car dealership straight down here to Miami, Florida. I worked for an incredible individual. Like, he is still my mentor. I appreciate everything that they do, and then I crushed it there. I did very, very well. And then I also reached a point there where it was like, hey, what's the next game?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I did well for me. Now, how many more people can I help? Right? What am I going to do 30 years from now? What's my life going to look like 10 years from now? Right? And so those are the thoughts I was starting to have. And so that's when I decided to make the transition.
And then how long were you at this corporation for?
3.5 years.
So 3.5 years. Would you say that, like, I always say this, like, I'm always going to be a student of the game, right? Even as an entrepreneur right now, I, thankfully to God, I was able to get to 8 figures, and my goal in the next 2 years is 9 figures. So would you say, what was the transition while you were at this corporation, man? Like, did you go in there thinking like, I'm going to try to learn as much as possible, or were you like confident going in there?
Very confident. I had no choice. The best route to achieve anything is leaving yourself with only one plan. No plan B. That's the only way to actually guarantee yourself any success.
Yeah.
So when you go in there and you have a massive amount of duty to accomplish something, you will get it done. I'm sure you've encountered that a couple times, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
You know?
I mean, you got to make work.
Yeah.
No matter with what, dude. I remember working for the city of Oakland, and we had old Crown Vics that barely ran, but we were still chasing bad guys. Still going after these criminals with what we had, dude, and it's just what it is. We made it work, right? So it's the same thing in business, right? You have to make it work with what you have, right? So that's awesome, dude. So you went ahead, you dominated for about 3.5 years. And guys, the reason why we're not name dropping, just FYI, okay, is because NDA purposes and all that. So we want to make sure that Chris is good, but it's a massive person in the online world, and he's phenomenal. But now that now that you've gone ahead and transitioned from that, okay, you decided to go ahead. And was it like one day you were just like, dude, I'm just gonna start my own business, or how did that come about, man?
So great question.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for my beautiful girlfriend Sarah. She's a massive inspiration for me for doing this, and it happened before I even started working anywhere. So it happened way before I even got my first sales job. It happened in the year where I was doing seven jobs in a year. I was writing down my goals of what I wanted to accomplish. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew I was going to get there somehow or another. And so always in the back of my mind, I always knew that I was going to do my own thing. It was just a matter of when and what. And so it really hit me when, I'm seeing the amount of money that's being pulled into an organization, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, why am I not the one on the other side?
Yeah.
I should be the one investing $500,000. I should be the one investing $1 million to my business, to my company, to my people, right? And let's just be real. You can't do that being one salesperson.
Facts.
You can't. It's just impossible. Like, sure, can you make $1 million? Absolutely. Can you make $5 million? Absolutely. But can you truly achieve financial freedom, not only on just one side of yourself, but on all areas? Like, how many people are you helping? Do you have employees? Are you running a team, right? That's the stuff that really motivates me, is I want to have such a massive team underneath me that they get paid so well, and that the culture is just so good that they just don't want to do anything but drive up the purpose. Yeah. And so that's my why. That's why I want to start my own business, is to employ other people underneath me and help them out as well. Because I was once that guy that didn't have an opportunity. So I want to give those people an opportunity.
So you went in there, you were like, all right, dude, it's time. I got the skills in sales. I got the experience. Now it's time for me to go ahead and transition. What would you say, okay, being that this was, you said within 6 months, what would you say is the hardest part of the transition for you?
The hardest part is making the decision that you're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
And when.
Yeah.
I remember the day that I walked in and my stomach was not there.
Yeah.
It was done. Right. But then again, when I had it in the back of my mind, and then it started getting real for me. But then when I actually made the decision, it was a matter of 4 days.
Yeah.
I made the decision. I'm like, okay, boom. Thursday hit. I'm like, bang. I get introduced to the recruiting space, the space that I'm in now. Someone shows it to me, and I look at it. And I'm like, dude, this is huge.
Yeah.
If I don't take this opportunity, I'd be actually doing myself wrong.
Yeah.
I'd be doing a disservice to myself. And then that Monday is when I walked in, shook their hands, and then I started my business that day.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. So I started everything from ground zero that day.
Dude, it sounds like, when I got into digital marketing, read a book, and I was just like, dude, how can these guys make like $45,000 in an hour off of like a live webinar? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Right? What's so special about them? And then I started doing research, and I'm like, there's nothing special. There's nothing special. It's just they have the information that I don't. And I feel like, someone told you, was it a mentor that told you about the staffing idea?
It was a really great friend of mine. I'm very thankful. Yeah, a really great friend of mine. He helped me out. And I asked him, I'm like, why aren't you doing this?
Yeah.
And he's like, because I care about you.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew. I was like, all right, done.
I got to go take the opportunity.
Yeah, it would be like, because once you have that there, the one discipline that I always move off of is as soon as you make the decision to do something, immediately do it. Do not add time, because the more time you're going to add into something, the more of chance you have stuff coming in and interfering with that, which is going to pull you off of the actual intention that you had to get it done.
Yeah.
So the faster you move on something, the faster you're able to complete it, and then you're able to go on to the next thing even faster, which is how successful people like yourself, other individuals in the space, they operate. They don't take time.
You're right.
They make a decision fast.
You're absolutely right.
However hard that decision is, dude, the harder the decision, the faster you're going to make it, right?
You sort of have to, because you're trying to escape the pain of not making the decision, dude. And I hate having things on my shoulders, to be honest with you. So before you guys came, I was like trying to like hurry up and like finish my to-do list for today, because we got to like bang out like other things today. And I'm just like, dude, like I just hate having things over my head, right? And that's just business. I still got my personal life, right? You know, I always get asked just like, dude, you never stop working. And I was just like, I don't think any of us do, because if we're not working at the office, guess what? We're working our relationships and we're working at home, right? So at the end of the day, we're always working on ourselves. But to go back to what you were saying, dude, I love that, you know, making fast decisions, because I always like to say the force of average actually pulls us back to go ahead and not do things, right? It keeps us static and comfortable. And no, that's a saying that I always love saying. So, dude,
that's good.
So let's go into your actual agency right now. So what exactly, for the audience here, because half of the people that watch this, we get about 1 million listeners in. What would you say is an appointment setter?
An appointment setter is somebody who calls leads that you have, and they set up appointments for the closers. Their full job, their only job, is to call the people and set them up.
Got it.
That's it. So they're doing 200 to 300 calls per day.
Oh, wow.
Minimum.
And what would you say is an appointment setter good for? Like, what type of businesses?
All businesses.
All businesses.
Every single one. My philosophy is that you can't be a good closer if you don't know how to set an appointment. And that's so true, because listen to this. You could create the best movie of all time. Greatest movie of all time. Spend like $30 million on the production and everything, right? And it's like the best movie of all time, greatest actors, greatest everything, right? And then you go to play the movie and nobody's there.
Yeah.
How good of a movie is that?
No, absolutely.
Right?
Man.
So you could be the best closer in the world, but if you don't have anybody in front of you, how good of a closer are you?
Facts.
You know?
Facts.
And so that's why an appointment setter is by far the most valuable thing inside of a company. Because if you don't have leads, you cannot close. And so even if you do have the worst closer of all time, if you have enough appointments set up, you're going to get deals.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be so compressed on time because you have so many appointments that these deals are just going to start dropping because you don't have much time to talk back and forth.
That makes sense.
Hey, you want to buy? Yes or no? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's why an appointment setter is the most valuable thing. And I sell my salespeople on this so hard, and the people that I recruit and place into companies, right? Because there's a lot of guys out there that, you know, they want to be a closer, which I 100% respect. And if you want to be a closer, good for you. You're a great closer. But you got to learn how to set appointments. You can't close a deal if you don't have anybody in front of you.
Yep.
And so I really keen on that so hard, because it's the lifeblood of the organization, right? Even if you have inbound leads and the appointment setters that like you have leads coming in and then they're booking on your calendar, right? That's not an appointment. Dude, that's already on your calendar. like the owner did that for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's not an appointment set, right? Yeah. That's a marketing set.
Yeah.
What about the other 1,000 people that didn't book a calendar link?
Yeah.
That wanted more information? Because I know a guy like you and a guy like me, we're not going to book a call. Right. We're just going to click a link and just see what happens. Yeah. You know? And those are the people that are getting missed out on right now.
Yeah.
Is the people that they're like, it's like the Apple. Like, they're just there. They're waiting to get called, you know?
No, absolutely.
And
man.
so that's how important appointment setter is to a company.
No, that makes sense, dude. It's the bread and butter.
It's the bread and butter, man.
I completely understand, man. You can have the best sales team, but if you don't have leads in front of them, what good are they, right?
Dude, they're not there.
Yeah.
They'll go somewhere else.
No, absolutely. So to follow up on that, brother, so what would you say makes a solid appointment setter? What characteristics?
Certainty, altitude, and sticking to the script.
Okay. And then are these setters, they're just dialing, or are they doing more like DM messaging, or they do it at all?
They do it all.
They do it all.
So when you set an appointment, you want to call the person twice, double dial every single individual, every single time. Leave a message after every single call, text them, email them, and then if they have social media, connect with them on LinkedIn and send them a message on Instagram or Facebook.
Dude, I love that.
On every single person.
Bro, you got the system dialed in. I love it. I love it. You don't even need a script. You're just like, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do this. That's
Boom, right
awesome.
there, dude. There's no way you won't get somebody's attention if you hit them from 8 angles.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. So let's transition to closers now.
Yeah.
What would you say makes a great closer?
An ethical individual, a guy that's actually a great person and does what they say they're going to do, not only in the business world, but just in life in general, you know, like cleans the room, has a good work ethic, works out, is very good with eye contact, can actually sit down and speak to somebody, clean cut. But the most important thing, man, you got to be ethical.
Yeah.
Like you have to be a great person.
Yeah.
You have to have that ethics in you. Because if not, you're not going to be able to ask somebody for 90 grand.
Yeah.
Because you won't be willing to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the actual integrity to do it.
Dude, that's deep right there. I love that. I always try to, you know, pour into my people and tell them you need conviction. You need that good energy. Because I feel like when people talk to you, man, it's just like they can feel the energy.
Yeah.
You know? And like when you're on a call, whether it's like, you know, audio, Zoom call, or whatever it is in person, dude, if you're hyped, you're like, yeah, you're excited about it. Like you're just telling them and you're excited for them because it's a great opportunity that's going to change their life. People feel that, man. And
They do.
like, yeah,
They
do.
can sense it right away.
They can sense it, dude. I mean, I've been sold, and not to say I've been sold like in a bad way, but I know when I'm being sold. And you know, at the end of the day, like what sells me is like energy, persistence, you know, showing the value of whatever it is you're selling, your product or your service, your program, whatever it is. But I feel like, you know, nowadays, man, like a lot of closers, they just don't have it like that. You know, they don't have that energy, man. I could tell you're an old soul, bro. Like you, even you dressing up like that, it takes me back, dude.
Thank you.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I think it's like what the online world needs, and it's what like the business world needs now. You know, it's the old school. Hey, sales and being ethical and dude, just being a great salesman, right? So
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
No, dude, you deserve it. You totally deserve it. But let me ask you, Chris, what would you recommend? Because you said that, you know, in the very beginning when you started getting into your sales career, for a beginner that are either listening or watching this on YouTube, what would you recommend a few books that they should study on that you like for sales?
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
Great book. I read that book like 4 times and I was unemployed.
Yeah.
Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. That's the one that got me into sales single-handedly.
Nice.
The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone as well. That book is also absolutely incredible. And then, man, there's some, I would say those are the top 3.
Yeah.
Those 3 books right there, I've read those many, many times over, thoroughly through. And those are the only 3 books that I've read many, many books, but out of all the books I read, probably like 50 books. Those are the 3 books that stood out. But Think and Grow Rich was the one that really introduced me to writing my goals. It introduced me to dreaming, doing the right things, and just mentally putting myself in a position, you know?
Mindset, dude.
Yeah.
Mindset's
It's
everything,
huge.
bro.
I remember running in my hometown, right? And beautiful place, right? Beautiful hometown. It's just small, right? If you got a big dream, you know, you could do it there, but it's better to do it somewhere like here, right?
Miami.
Yeah, exactly, right,
Yeah,
exactly, you know?
yeah.
But I remember I was running down by the beach, you know, and we got boats. We don't have yachts. There's boats. And I remember I was like just constantly delusioning my mind of like, dude, all I see is palm trees and I see yachts and I see palm trees and there's beaches and trees.
amazing.
Palm trees and yachts. And dude, I'd do that on every single run with no hope, but just envisioning myself enough to actually have it happen. Yeah. And it's continuing to happen. And it's the most bizarre thing because it's actually happening right now.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, that's so true because throughout my entire life, man, I mean, I had it more when I was younger, but I used to have deja vu all the time. And like, even when I was a cop, dude, like, I remember I was just like, why am I near the water? Like, I don't live anywhere near the water. This is back when I was in California, dude. And then like 2 years later, I was in San Diego, dude. And I had like the view of the ocean from my penthouse. And then even when I was in San Diego, dude, like, I remember I was driving like an exotic car that was yellow. And I was just like, what the hell? And then I ended up getting a Ferrari like 2 years later. And I'm like, dude, it's true. You have to envision it, but then you also have to take like imperfect action to go ahead and do it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But the mind's very powerful, dude. I think you bring it into existence, bro. And a lot of people don't believe in that. I'm a true believer in that.
Yeah.
You know, so like
1000%.
Dude, the words that you said, it was just like I got goosebumps because it's so real.
It is.
I highly believe in that.
The delusion will get you there.
Oh, it'll get you there.
And it's actually really not even delusion if you think about it, because it's just your own reality.
Yeah.
And the more your reality is, the more it's going to be your reality.
Well,
it doesn't, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If it's your reality and you want to accomplish it, you will do it. Think of it like a doctor.
Yeah.
Right? You want to be a doctor, you have to think about being a doctor.
True.
And then you go through the school to be a doctor, right? There's
Yeah.
doctors out there, right?
Yeah.
Rappers, anything, dude. If you want to be a janitor, you got to at least put it there. You want to be a janitor before you actually become the janitor.
No,
There's something that
it's true.
happens that puts it there. Isn't that incredible?
Dude, it's just like people going into sports games, right? With the athletes. It's just like they're already envisioning the win.
Yeah.
They're not going to go in there thinking they're going to lose.
And the person with the most conviction will win.
100% because they're bringing the most energy.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's a powerful thing, dude. No, that's awesome.
That's really good.
So, what would you say for anyone looking into sales, someone looking into possibly starting, a company like yours? Well, not exactly like staffing, but like just any company in general, dude. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, they like to overthink it, right? And the good thing I like about your offer, man, is like you already come from the sales industry, and you know it like the back of your hand. So it goes side by side with staffing, dude. I mean, you already know what to look for in good salesmen and good appointment setters, right?
Exactly.
So what would you tell somebody that's looking to start their own business? Give them like first 3 steps of how they should go about it. Like, should they do market research? Should they go get a mentor? What would you say?
I would say the first step would be to promote. Use your social media. Use those free outlets. Number 2 is use your power base, tap into your friends, your family, everybody that you know, and let them know what you're doing. And then number 3, follow up with every single person religiously, like your life depends on it. Every single contact you have, call them until they either tell you to stop or you lose their number. That's really the only 2 ways.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you will get deals from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You got only you.
Exactly.
And then if there's a 4th thing, which I'd actually put it to number 1, is get the right people around you. So I would actually put that to number 1 is the environment that you're in. I'm just going to say something because it's so true and I hate seeing it, man. It kills my freaking heart every time. But I see these young guys, dude, and they're making all this money, dude, and then they go and blow it on clubs.
Yeah.
And it's the most bizarre thing. And what's happening is like you were saying, going back to the closer part, they envision that lifestyle when they make a bunch of money.
Right.
But dude, that's not what's actually going to make you successful.
Right.
That's a short-term fix.
That is.
Dude, you go on you party on Sunday until 2 a.m. and then you hop on a closing call at 10 a.m. on Monday.
That's horrible.
Yeah, tell me how you feel.
I feel
Is that successful?
I feel like you probably had somebody that probably went through that, and you're probably like, dude, what are you doing? Let me give you some life experience here.
No, I've done it. I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not here in Miami, but elsewhere. And it's not good. It's not scalable. You can't scale that way.
No, you're absolutely right, man. And back when I was in my 20s, dude, same thing. Like I used to be a nightclub promoter and then do corporate sales, and dude, like it's not sustainable whatsoever. I don't recommend it for anybody. But at the end of the day, dude, like when you're young, you got to learn from experience, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But nah, dude, I think you're in the right direction. I think like your company's gonna be like massive. So let's talk about vision, dude, because like the more I talk to you, man, you're a visionary. You're like me, dude. Like, with me, I'm a visionary for all my businesses, and like I give the ideas and then I go ahead and I delegate it to implementers, right? Like COOs, CMOs, all that jazz. So with you, what's your vision for your agency, dude?
My vision is $100 million in 3 years.
Oh yeah.
And that's Find Me Staffing.
Yeah.
And I want to have Dietz Enterprise be the corporate of 5 other companies. So there's going to be a real estate company. There's going to be another company. And then there's going to be a few others. I'll kind of see where it goes, but that's my goal. That's my ultimate goal. Is to have the enterprise be the parent company between 5 or more companies, and then partner up with a bunch of companies and really expand my brand that way.
No, I love that, man. And anything of motivation that you want to give to our listeners and viewers right now?
Yeah. One thing, whenever you have a decision or a thought in your mind that it's the right thing to do it now. Whether you're working, whether you're doing sales, whether you're in construction, whether you're owning your own business. And for the salespeople out there that want to get great at sales, don't leave your sales job and start your business until you get great at what you're doing. Because I see a mistake that happens many, many times is salespeople will get very, very good. They'll have a couple wins inside their business, and they think they can do it on their own, which they can. I'm not saying you can't, but get great at what you're doing right now before you venture off into other areas.
I love that, man.
Get great at that one thing. That's why I didn't start my business until after I left. Because I know if I go halfway in one thing, I'm going to go halfway in the other thing.
Yeah.
And so if I was doing 2 things at once, my production inside the company I was with would fall. And then my company that I started would also fall. There would be no actual gains.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? Like it's so important, and especially in the sales role, that if you focus 100% on the product that you're selling, if you're an employee, you're getting paid hourly or salary, it's completely different because the amount of money, the amount of time you work doesn't change.
Right.
But if you're a salesperson, dude, it's so crucial to just focus on that one thing and then transition out, make the decision, and then start, change, and then stop, and then start again.
Dude, that makes so much sense, man.
Yeah.
You can't go 50% into anything.
Can't.
Right? You got to go 100%.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that, Chris. Where can they find you, dude? Instagram, YouTube? Where's your socials?
So Instagram, Chris Dietz, CEO. It's my last name. I'm sure we'll have a link in the chat or in the description of my Instagram. But it's Chris Dietz, CEO. And then you can find me on Facebook, Chris Dietz. And LinkedIn, Chris Dietz.
Guys, so if you're looking to get into sales, okay, you need to talk to Chris. All right, Chris is the man with the plan, and he will help you actually connect you with business owners to go ahead and find an appointment setter position or a closer's position.
Exactly.
So, and if you're a business owner, guys, I'm making it easy for you, okay? This is going to go viral. At the end of the day, if you're looking for someone to take over your sales section, to go ahead and actually recruit for you, Chris is the man with the plan. This is Paul Alex with the Level Up Podcast. Guys, make sure to subscribe to our Apple Podcast, Spotify, and also make sure to go ahead and share our YouTube. Official Paul Alex. Catch you on the next one.